So there was 1 in 10,000 children had autism, and now it's 1 in 31. There's got to be something artificial out there that's doing this. So you think you're going to have a pretty good idea, huh?
We will know by September.
There will be no bigger news conference than that.
The administration
Go back and look at Marco Rubio's face.
In this video, Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland of the Majority Report with Sam Seder take a look at this recent cabinet meeting with Trump and his clown car of a cabinet as they cover a variety of subjects. And I think that Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland are in rare form at their best in this type of video where they bring comedy, but also their razor-sharp wits to dissect the absurdity of what is going on right now. Let's take a look at this together. I will have some opinions, and then I want to know what you think in the comments. But let's roll it.
This is just when you see them all together, it honestly feels like a weird movie.
Bad dream.
It feels like a weird movie. Like, how did they get these many insane sycophants? Complete incompetence.
It's like Ocean's 11, but in the bowels of hell.
It feels like that.
Put up the image of them all looking at us, right? This is the image you see when you're not getting into heaven. That they're all looking at you like that.
It's crazy. Here it is. We're going to go through, and I wonder if they said all hands on deck. We need to make it look like everything's going right here after this week.
Edition is off to a hot start. Trump gathered the contestants into a cabinet meeting after a strong
We should
first
say
quarter.
he's selling it as The Apprentice. White House. They're going back to this. He's the boss.
I know the idiocracy thing is completely threadbare and worn out at this point, but I mean,
yes.
Oh,
Apprentice
yeah.
White House edition.
Yeah.
Yep.
The contestants into a cabinet meeting after a strong first quarter.
Everyone at this table is doing an incredible job, by the way, I have to say. Incredible. And the relationships are, it's like they're friends. They're really, the relationships are very strong, really good, really strong. And these meetings are very good.
They're all nodding like, oh, yeah, we're all good friends. We're all good friends. They're saying that. They're saying that because Musk got into like a screaming match. Was it with Lutnick or something?
Yeah.
They called Navarro retardo on Twitter.
Oh my God.
Okay, but
everybody's friends, right? Everybody's friends.
I don't know, but he says it's like they're friends. Not that they're friends. It's like they're friends.
It's like a slumber party. Marco's going to be the first to fall asleep, and we're going to put his hand in a hot bowl of water.
strong, really good, really strong. And these meetings are very good.
Can you go back like 10 seconds? I'm sorry. I just want to hear the it's like they're friends part.
But
one more time.
Not quite friends, but like they're friends.
Approaching friends.
After a strong first quarter.
Everyone at this table is doing an incredible job, by the way, I have to say. Incredible. And the relationships are, it's like they're friends. They're really, the relationships are very strong, really good, really strong. And these meetings are very good.
No one's going home this episode. Elon, though, he can leave at any time. But Trump doesn't want him to because he's good for ratings.
This is so bizarre.
Elon's done a fantastic job. Look, he's sitting here, and I don't care. I don't need Elon for anything other than I happen to like him. But I'm telling you, this guy did a fantastic job. I don't need his car. I actually bought one because, and they said, "Oh, did you get a bargain?" No. I said, "Give me the top price." I paid a lot of money for that car. But honestly, he makes a great car. You know what I do with it? I let the people in the office drive around in it.
Sources say America's hard for...
This is so insane. It's so insane. Meanwhile, where's J.D. Vance? Is he under like the desk or something hiding?
Yeah.
Is he like continuity of government sort of?
I love the idea of like the Cybertruck that was in front of the White House being the office like ping pong table or something like that.
Yeah, the key fob's right by the door. Just grab it on the way out.
Yeah, Trump doesn't drive. We know this. He's talked about it many times.
Get behind the wheel, but yeah.
Yeah. But
Rob Stephen Miller has been hogging the keys to the boss's new whip. Margot, Natalie, and Chamberlain want to spin, but Miller won't let him drive. Even if Elon leaves, the car stays, and so does Big Balls.
Thanks to your fantastic leadership, this amazing cabinet, and the very talented Doge team, I'm excited to announce that we anticipate savings in FY26 from reduction of waste and fraud by $150 billion. And I mean, and some of it is just absurd. Like,
pause it for 1 second. Wait a second. Did he say 150 billion in 2026? Mm-hmm. I'm confused because I thought he was going to save $2 trillion.
Not to mention that Trump just requested or proposed a $1 trillion military budget, which is a raise from the last time, which was a raise from the time before that. And the military has failed 7 audits, right? Can't pass an audit. And Elon Musk himself is going to be if that goes through, Elon Musk is going to be a huge beneficiary of that money. No fraud or waste or abuse there, I guess.
Does anybody have a calculator?
After inflation.
How much is $150 billion less than $2 trillion? It feels like it's 8 times less, somewhere around there. And this is happening in 2026. I wonder why he has to say 2026. I mean, hasn't he cut all these people? Like, a reminder, they cut the CDC people who would work on making sure that cruise liners were not having massive outbreaks, and the cruise liners paid for that. We didn't even pay for it. Here is how they're doing so far in 2025. And what?
Wow.
Well, that's weird. Spending is actually 150 billion higher. So when he says we're going to cut $150 billion in 2026,
It wouldn't have been 300?
Well, they're just going to get back supposedly to the 2024 baseline.
Biden levels.
But there was a continuing resolution. We're going to cut Trump's spending that existed. It's just insane.
What?
Continue.
Insurance who haven't been born yet.
You people are fantastic. In fact, hopefully they'll stay around for the long haul. We'd like to keep as many as we can. They're great, smart, sharp, right? Finding things that nobody would have thought of. Very computer savvy.
Tech support's been
Computer savvy.
Everything's computer.
Yeah, not so great with apps, though. Apps I'm not so great with.
Trump is so mystified by technology in the way that like a really, really rich old guy can only be, because he's never needed to use it for practical uses except to tweet. Like, that's so much of what this is, right?
Barron can get you on the internet in under 5 minutes.
Yeah, he can turn on his computer by himself.
Yeah, and then go, what are you doing, Baron? Oh,
it's amazing.
Well, Harvey, what's his name? Firestein, yeah.
That's continue.
Billions we're spending on 100% organic shea butter in Burkina Faso, and of course masseuses is in Nigeria. And no one ever says thank you. They just Molotov his cars. But don't worry, Bondi's on it.
Your directive to me was to keep America safe, and that's what we're doing. You know, you also gave us a directive to prosecute the people who are going after Tesla to the fullest extent of the law, some of the greatest police work I've seen. We've made 4 arrests. There will be no negotiations at your directive. They're all looking at 20 years in prison, and within the next 24 hours, you're going to be seeing another huge arrest on a Tesla dealership, President, and that person will be looking at least 20 years in prison with no negotiations.
We don't negotiate with Trantifa or bad
so there you go. We have our U.S. Attorney General is working on arresting 5 people because of attacks on a specific car.
Thank good for car dealership security. That's the #1 national security.
We're going to see a boon in the car dealership security industry.
Ian Cash seized 45,000 pounds of narcotics yesterday, and the CIA is changing the rules of engagement. The agency used to help arrest cartel kingpins. Now they're considering assassination. And Bobby Kennedy says, don't change the channel.
By September, we will know.
Can we just hold on to that assassination thing? When you do decapitation strikes on, like, whether it's a terror group or drug cartels, for instance, the impact of that isn't everything calms down. It's that there's a giant power struggle that leads to more violence. That's pretty well observed pattern.
Let's not look at facts or start making any sense here, please.
Oh, they'll just stop doing it.
Yeah.
They'll just stop the business.
Okay.
I mean, the idea of bombing one of our closest trading partners probably seems like a bad idea in Mexico.
Yeah, just send a missile. Also, that's a good business for missile companies too.
What has caused the autism?
Go back. Yeah, here we go.
Changing the rules of engagement. The agency used to help arrest cartel kingpins. Now they're considering assassination. And Bobby Kennedy says, don't change the channel.
Here comes
By
more
September,
craziness.
we will know what has caused the autism epidemic, and we'll be able to eliminate those exposures.
Those are so big. Think of that. So it was 1 in 10,000 children had autism, and now it's 1 in 31. There's got to be something artificial out there that's doing this. So you think you're going to have a pretty good idea, huh?
We will know by September.
There will be no bigger news conference than that.
The administration's
Pause
going
it.
where
I just
no
want to
one's-
be clear that Kennedy says we're going to know by September what causes autism. I mean,
Someone tells me it's going to be the same
Wait.
thing that he says causes autism right now.
we were going to do it by August, but surf's up on the Cape. So we're doing it in September.
Hey, what causes measles? Can we get back to that?
Oh, can we go to? Can we get on to? If I were you, I would get on Polymarket right now and bet that it's
About the outcome
vaccines.
of what they're going to do with their
I
very,
would bet that
very
it's vaccines.
clinical study.
I would bet that it's vaccines.
Yeah.
Vaccines and vaccines.
It's just so weird. Like prior to the 1900s, there were very few left-handed people. And then the numbers of them just skyrocketed. And we have to figure out what is going on.
When was the polio vaccine?
It was after that. But that could have been anticipatory left-handedness caused by the polio vaccine.
Okay.
Official out there that's doing this. So you think you're going to have a pretty good idea, huh?
We will know by September.
There will be no bigger news conference than that.
The
Pause
administration
it, that's what we
going where
do.
no one's
Go back and
considered
look
to
at
go.
Marco Rubio's face, where Rubio is the only one who seems to realize, like, my God, he has some semblance of like self-awareness, and he's just like, I wish I didn't have to sit right next to Trump.
I was
during
right
this.
between him, and same with Burgum. Yeah.
Just watch Rubio's face.
I mean, come on, Sam. How could you be saying that? It's like they're friends. Look at their faces. So much affection.
they're like a family, but a lot of my family won't talk to me.
31. There's got to be something artificial out there that's doing this. So you think you're going to have a pretty good idea, huh?
We will know by September.
There will be no bigger news conference than that.
The administration's going where no
that
one's
last
going to go.
sort of
And
sigh,
when you work hard,
where Rubio is just like, I just gotta get through this. Gotta get through this. Unbelievable. Incidentally, I don't know if you saw the CBS. We should have taken clips from that CBS interview with Kennedy. He didn't seem to know about anything that was going on at the. I've been on a tour selling crystals that will.
I mean, we know what he's been doing. He's been being hectored about, can you please say something pro-vaccine before this measles thing kills more kids?
Well, not publicly.
I've had over 100 people working around the clock to scan the paper around RFK, Senator Robert F. Kennedy's assassination, as well as Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination. These have been sitting in boxes in storage for decades. They have never been scanned or seen before. We'll have those ready to release here within the next few days.
Pause it for a second. I am not a big fan of the national security apparatus or of these intelligence agencies. But I gotta think that having 100 people working around the clock to look through these documents that are going to be there, they'll be there next week. And like, maybe you could have had one person or 5 people working, I don't know, 9 to 5, looking at these things to release them. But this has to happen in the next 3 days.
The Mary Farrow Foundation, which is like sort of the grassroots JFK conspiracy sort of research group that looks over these documents after the release of the documents about a month or so ago, said, hey, appreciate it. It's nice you released all this stuff. Should have been done maybe in your first term. But also, can you not include the social security numbers of people and that sort of identifying information because they weren't doing basic due diligence?
Yeah, but they're also not releasing, like, the idea that they're throwing the MLK assassination in there as if we don't know who would be the most likely culprit in that the MLK tapes, I think, is a great podcast that people can listen to on this front about like why there were maybe purposeful, potentially security lapses because the powers that be wanted MLK to be assassinated. Like, they're not going to reveal that information in the same way that the children of Malcolm X have had to sue the CIA and the FBI last year to get information about their complicity, which is now very well established in Malcolm X's assassination, as well as the NYPD. Like, they don't give this information willingly because Tulsi Gabbard is the deep state. Tulsi Gabbard worked in intelligence for the military, and now we have to pretend like, oh, she's going to be interested in transparency here? Give me a break.
I'll trade you the key to how what causes autism if you give me the files.
Mark Lamont Hill, I saw make this point too regarding the MLK stuff because, like, it's true. Like, Coretta Scott King, among others, thinks that FBI had complicity in there. What Mark Lamont Hill said was we should look at the right wing taking this MLK stuff and using it to smear MLK, like all of the affair stuff and all that.
Yes.
Stuff. That's
100%.
going to be what they sort of like emphasize when they release all this stuff.
And we already know it's been now established of the FBI, I think, complicity in the killing of and orchestration of Fred Hampton. It's obviously not a stretch that was extended to even more prominent civil rights leaders.
It's just a confirmed fact that they harassed MLK, telling him to kill himself, or we're going to smear you as an adulterer.
Yeah.
That's great. Bobby, how do you feel about that? That's hitting close to home.
Yeah, no.
So you think, thinking about Bobby when that statement's made.
I'm very grateful to you, Mr. President.
Assassination files have been sitting around in boxes collecting dust for decades, and we get to see them in a couple.
Trump was a president for 4 years of those decades, I would just point out. But anyway, and it was actually, the time came up under his
I was
administration.
pretty busy, Matt.
Well,
I didn't have time to do everything.
I love that that's Trump's attempt to be like sensitive, just going,
it's close to home, doesn't it?
It's close to home. He was your father, is that right? Okay.
It's almost as close as those bullets hitting the door frame, isn't it?
Really close. So close to home.
A little bit more, I guess.
Couple days. That episode's going to be hard to top. But Hegseth gave it a shot. We're getting the canal.
We just got back from Panama last night. We were at the Panama Canal with their Southcom commander ships, F-18s, troops, and signed a couple of historic deals. And then also a memorandum of understanding with their security minister for the presence of U.S. troops. Fort Sherman is an old U.S. base there, as well as their naval station and air station, jointly with Panama to secure the Panama Canal from Chinese influence. That's something you said we're taking back the canal. China's had too much influence. Obama and others let them creep in. We, along with Panama, are pushing them out, sir.
Jose, this is a memorandum of understanding. It means you understand it's ours. Comprende?
Oh my God. Oh, I can't believe it. What does that mean, too much Chinese influence? Well, we're now able to go through, and we've gotten rid of like a couple of the restaurants. Hunan Express is gone. We've replaced it with another McDonald's. Like, what is exactly that?
They're mad that the Chinese are engaging in global free trade.
We're going to show. I mean, I got news for you. Guess what? They're not going to need to do. They're not going to be coming. Those Chinese ships are going to be going the other direction anyways. They're going to stay on their continent.
The Panama Canal thing, I've been rereading Stephen Kinzer's book, Overthrow. Here's just an excerpt from Wikipedia. The book talks about such things as how the United States, during its first real coup, decided to remove Nicaraguan President Zelaya from power over objections of officials like the United States ambassador to Nicaragua because they wanted power of the canal. It also said that the United States tricked the Panamanians into independence from Colombia so that they could have the land to build the Panama Canal, and Colombia would not give them land. And Kinzer also in the book talks about how there were different investment groups like from Asia that wanted to build a canal in Nicaragua, and using the Monroe Doctrine, we said no. We're going to control all of this, and we're going to put it in Panama. And so there could be a Nicaraguan canal that America has no justification for, but we used our imperial might to say to intimidate that out of being made. So like this idea that we made it, no one else would have done it. And actually, though, there's a lot of the world trade 100 years ago wanted a canal in that area, and we just wanted to make sure we control it.
It is, when you see it and you watch it for any amount of time, it's just absolutely mind-bendingly insane. But here we are. Let me know what you think in the comments.